Bushcraft 412, and in the last couple of weeks I've been doing a lot of budget knives and showing off a lot of good alternatives for knives for people who are on a budget, and even the people who are on a really tight budget. And I kind of took a recommendation from I Owned You Noob. He has a great channel, and he has a video up of one of these British Commando knives where he just stabs the snot out of a water bottle with it. And I kind of I asked him about it, and he kind of said these are actually pretty decent knives. So I picked one of these up off the Budk catalog, which they're about $6. And, well, let's just say beware the Budk catalog. I'm not sure where I Owned You Noob got his. I didn't really ask, but first of all, let's talk about the sheath. This is pretty much just like a wadded up piece of cheap fake leather. This thing would fall apart if you looked at it wrong. So, I mean, for a $6 knife, I didn't expect an amazing sheath, but as you can see, this thing is about as crummy as it gets. And the only way to retain it to your belt is through these slots they cut into the leather, and nothing. This is pretty much not even safe to hold a knife in. So let's get to the knife. This is one of those British Commando knives based on the I think it's World War I, World War II era British dagger trench knives. And I really like the style, and I really like the idea. And I've always kind of looked for one, but I've always been afraid of the quality and, yada, yada, yada. And I saw this one, it was $6, and I figured, why not try it? Worst case scenario is I've got a $6 letter opener or box opener and, a fun video to make on YouTube. Well, let's just say I wouldn't trust this thing to open a box. First of all, let's take a look at this thing. The handle is actually pretty solid. It appears to be made out of some kind of aluminum. Nice ribbing on it. Nice finger guard, too. The finger guard is nice and solid and tight up against the handle. But when we get to the blade, this is where the train wreck starts. First of all, you can see the machining on the bottom of the blade is completely unfinished where it meets the handle. You can see it's very rough. There's dents down there. Does not look very professionally made. And I'm sure the handle, the actual tang to this is probably very thin. Just a thin piece that goes into the handle, and it's probably glued on. Which I'm fine with, because this isn't, this isn't an expensive knife. This is a $6 knife. Now, if you look at this knife, you'll also see that the handle is not in line with the blade, that the blade does go off at an angle. So it's not even centered perfect. If you look at the center line of the handle, would go straight up, kind of like that. The actual blade is not even straight. So really kind of scary there, and that the blade, I'm not sure if the blade is just uneven or if it's not seated in the handle properly. Plus, on top of that, if you also hold it like this, it's off a little bit as well. In the, so the blade's definitely not straight. Thickness on this is pretty thin. I could snap this in half. I mean, you can see the amount of flex. I'm just using one hand, and you can see the amount of flex just with a couple of fingers. I could snap this in half with two hands, no problem. Sharpness. What sharpness? There's a couple points where the actual grind of this knife is so bad, it's actually, you can see that it's flattened out, which is kind of scary. And then there's other parts, like right here, this section right here, where it's actually a little on the sharp side. But the grind is completely uneven and completely flat, like someone smashed it with a hammer in a couple spots. Of course, this is a dagger style, and you can see the edge. The edge is so thick. It actually collects light. It's so thick. This is a dagger. It's not meant to be sharp and to slash. It's meant to stab. So, of course, the tip is plenty sharp, as you can see. Sharp enough, to do what it's supposed to do. But I would say this knife is completely unfunctional. It's not thick enough, to safely use in any kind of self-defense situation. If you were to use this on a person, you would likely snap this blade in half. If it hit any kind of bone or any hard object, this blade would likely snap, and you could possibly hurt yourself and be left defenseless. So no, this one I wouldn't use for self-defense. Even as a one-time throwaway knife, I would not trust this. As a around-the-house letter opener, sure, you know, this will work for that kind of thing. As a display piece, I would say no, because, you know, as you can see, there's a lot of flaws in this. It's not even put together straight, and, you know, the bottom of that's completely kind of like unfinished just against the finger guard, and everything's crooked. So as a display piece, I would say no. Not very good either, you know, even for $6. I definitely, if people out there have comments on where they can get one of these that are good quality, I would love to get one, because I love the design and I love the looks of this, and I would love to have one of these that is serviceable at a budget price. So if somebody does know, and I know there's 4 or 5 different people that make these Commando knives, drop me a PM or leave a comment as to where I can get one that's good quality but still budget priced. And by budget priced, I'm talking maybe like $35 and under. So if somebody knows the one, definitely leave me a comment, because I would like to get one of these that's nice so I could do a kind of a comparison review. But, you know, as I said, this is the dangers of the Budk catalog. You can end up with knives like this that are, I mean, number one, dangerous, but number two, just of such poor quality that, you know, it's insane. And you can't just say it's money, because, you know, as I just showed you, the Frost Mora knife that I just did the review on is $2 more than this, and you get this amazing quality. This is $9.99. This is $6.99. You are talking about $3. The difference between this and this, and the quality on this knife is absolutely amazing. You know, so let me get this out so we can take a look at this. You know, this is a very high quality $10 knife. You know, it's not perfect. You know, it's not a K-bar, but it's a good $10 K-bar replica. $3 difference. This knife has a perfect finish, good balance, good thickness, you know, great handle. Everything's pinned together well and awesome. This is $3 less and is just a walking train wreck. So, you know, the Budk catalog, it is what it is. They've got some really cool stuff for the price, but they've also got some real garbage that you have to really be careful of, because something like this, if you were a young guy and you weren't into knives and you didn't know any better and decided you were going to use this, and if you tried to stab this into a piece of wood, this thing could very likely snap and you could seriously hurt yourself. So I hate to see stuff like this on the market, because people could get hurt, you know, especially young guys who are inexperienced, and, you know, they make their first knife buy, and, you know, they're all excited and they want to, you know, do something with it, and, you know, maybe this is a dud out of the batch. I don't know. I think I need to get a better manufacturer for this kind of style of knife. So, like I said, guys, if you know of a good one out there, leave me a message or a comment. So, because I definitely want to pick one up and do a review on one, because I love these old World War I, World War II, you know, British Commando style knives. Here we go, Bushcraft 412. Hope you enjoyed.